Alright, unless you're like living under a rock or something, I'm sure by now that you've heard that Super's gonna have a new movie in 2022. And I don't really have anything to say to that besides, finally? We finally have an announcement of an anime or something? Yeah, it's not an anime, but some sort of animated content that isn't Heroes. I mean, how long has it been since Broly aired? It was like late 2018, December? You know what? Better late than never. In case you couldn't tell, this video is going to be kind of different than my other discussion videos. It's more so just me ranting. I've always wanted to try something like this, like some sort of manga chapter review or some other predictions video, because it's nice to do something that isn't really scripted once in a while. I feel like this would be more fun to do. I might actually do more discussions with people involved and have collabs and whatever. But before I do that, I probably should do one on my own like this, so here we are. I'm just going to discuss whatever predictions I have for the movie, and just whatever theories I have in mind. Of course, none of this is confirmed, and none of this is really grounded in any sort of truth or whatever. It's just me deciding what I think might be possible, but again, there's nothing really to base it off of, so whatever. It'll be a fun little video. So, a lot of the things I've been seeing people discuss is that this might be a movie about Cooler, which I would actually really like. I know a lot of people want some sort of new villain, and I obviously wouldn't mind that either. I do want a new villain, but if they were to reboot an old movie villain, Cooler would probably be the best option, in my opinion at least. There's Janemba too, but he's kind of a clean slate, so they could do whatever they want with him if they brought him in. But I don't feel like he's interesting enough on his own. They need to have someone else along with him that probably creates him or something, because if they just have Janemba there and he does nothing, he'll just basically be a wall. It would be cool to see him fight, though, because I did mention this movie is going to have some sort of different visual aesthetics, and everyone thought that meant the movie would be 3D, but they never really said that anywhere, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. It might just mean the style's more refined or something, or they have some sort of new environment that they've never explored before. Or if it is something with Janemba, I mean, look at the way he attacks. He has some pretty cool looking attacks, and that could be what they mean by visual aesthetics. Again, just a theory. Doesn't mean that Janemba's going to be in the movie, but still. It would be kind of fun if that's the case. So, back to Cooler. I think he might actually be possible. I'm not entirely sure, obviously. But they said an unexpected character would appear, which means either Broly's going to come back, or maybe even Tarble would come back. But the fact that they're saying an unexpected character means that it's someone that was probably pre-existing before. I mean, it would be weird for Toriyama to say an unexpected character if he meant someone completely new, because that would be kind of expected in a way. You know what I mean? That sounds more like he's referring to someone that already exists, whether that be someone that's in canon or someone that isn't canon. So unless it is referring to Broly returning in some sort of whatever as an ally or just in general, it could mean that we get a new villain that's based on an old movie villain, basically in the same light that Broly was. And they could do a GT villain, but I also don't really see that happening because I don't think Super 17 would really make too much sense in the context of Super with how involved 17 is. There's also Baby, but I don't really feel like that would happen either because we had Goku Black, and Baby is kind of similar to that, someone stealing someone's body. They could obviously do it differently, but it would feel kind of rehashed. I mean, I know a lot of Supers kind of feels like that, but especially with Copy Vegeta too. I completely forgot about him, as everyone should. Sorry if I just reminded you of him and you had him out of your head for a while. But no, wouldn't really be him either, I don't think. The Shadow Dragons, I mean, yeah, they could do that, but I don't really feel like that would fit in a movie format. That would more so be its own arc, if anything. In terms of other, like, past movie villains, Turles, again, that would just be a copy of Goku Black, kind of, because it's another evil Goku, and I don't think people would want to see that again. Bojack could work if he was related to the Heaters somehow, but we'd have to see how the Granola arc goes. And actually, I feel like that makes more sense than most of the other movie villains, because if it turns out that he does have some sort of relation to the Heaters, then it fits with this movie taking place right after the Granola arc, because there's the obvious connection right there. I don't think I really need to explain that. Tapion and Hirudegarn, I don't really see that either. And I already mentioned what they need to do for Janemba. They'd kind of have to make him completely original because he was really just a clean slate beforehand. And as for people like Garlic Jr., Lord Slug, Dr. Wheelo, anyone like that, I don't think they're popular enough to reboot because, remember, Dragon Ball usually likes to do what's popular. That's why they brought Broly back. I mean, he was the most popular movie villain. Everyone loved Broly, or at least had some sort of opinion on him, so bringing him back was the safest choice. So who's the next most popular movie villain? I'd definitely say Cooler is. Again, just speculation. Doesn't mean he's going to be there, But I think it might actually make sense if they weave it in somehow, because if you remember at the end of the Broly movie, Frieza actually said that he knows he can't defeat Goku and Vegeta on his own, and he would need some sort of help, and Broly's definitely a lost cause. Like, there's no way he'd try and recruit Broly again, so who else would be a better ally than someone from his same clan? Yeah, there's also Frost, and they could have Cooler related to Frost somehow to explain why he was never in the story before, but also that would be kind of nonsensical, because how would Frieza even contact him? And also, Frost wouldn't help Frieza after what he did in the Tournament of Power. I mean, I don't think I need to explain why Frost would have some bitter feelings towards Frieza. So if they were to do Cooler, I mean, he could be still Frieza's brother, and they'll probably have some sort of explanation as to why he hasn't been in the story. I mean, they're pretty good at coming up with stuff on the fly. Like, look at Broly, for example. No one knew he existed for those, 40-something years that he was on Vampa, despite how strong he is and how someone realistically would have probably sensed his power at some point. But they were able to explain that away despite how strong he is. So they would probably be able to do the same with Cooler and have some sort of reason that Frieza would never mention him. I actually kind of want to make my own, what if about Cooler being canon. I know I already did Cooler being canon, but I mean a Dragon Ball Super version of Cooler. I might do a whole video based on that, an idea that because I had an idea written down, so I'll do that sometime later on. You'll see that sometime soon. Even if the movie isn't about Cooler, I'm still gonna do it because I like Cooler, and it'll be fun to do. So look forward to that, I guess. In terms of another unexpected character that could show up, like I mentioned, Broly, it could just mean that Broly's gonna come back in some way, which it would make sense. He's been gone for an arc so far, and unless he's gonna appear in the Granola arc, that's 2 arcs that he's been gone, and they kept him alive for a reason. Same with Frieza. Frieza's involved in the Granola arc, so who knows? And that also brings me back to Cooler, because if Frieza somehow dies in the Granola arc, maybe that's another way to bring Cooler in. Who knows? But in terms of that unexpected character, it could just be referring to an old villain being made canon. It could be Broly coming back. Like I said, Tarble, although I don't think he would really do much. Another funny thing that I was thinking of, this is never going to happen, but what if it's a movie about Shallot? Shallot's involved some way. I don't know how many of you played Dragon Ball Legends, but I think it's most of you. If you don't know, Shallot's a character from that game. He's a Saiyan, and he's related to the original Super Saiyan God. He actually has a twin brother too, Giblet. I know his name sounds really gross, but who knows? They could make Shallot canon too as an option. I don't really know. Again, this is just me throwing things around, seeing what sticks, thinking of possible ideas for the movie. Like I said, I think the best candidates are Cooler as a villain, Bojack as a villain, and if not an old villain being made canon, then it means probably Broly's coming back in some way. And a lot of people were suggesting that it might be Moro, but I don't see why Moro would be in a movie form, because that arc is way too long to fit as a movie, unless they do 2 movies like how Avengers did with Infinity War and Endgame, which that doesn't really make too much sense for Dragon Ball either. They'd be better off just doing that in an anime format. But yeah, the Moro arc is way too long to fit in a movie. They'd either have to really compress it or split it into 2 parts. Even if the movie's 2.5 hours long, that probably still wouldn't be long enough, because the Moro arc is one of the longest arcs in Dragon Ball, as far as I remember, and I know it's the longest in Super, I think, in terms of pure chapter amount. So yeah, I don't really see that happening. And again, another possibility, we could just be completely over speculating, and by unexpected character, that just means someone stupid like Launch shows up, for a short cameo and does absolutely nothing. A lot of the stuff that they say for movies just is meant to draw up hype, so we could just be looking too deep into it. Although I would really like if Cooler returned. He would be the only movie villain I'd really want back to be made canon. But who knows? It probably won't be him. And if it is, then great. That would make me happy personally. I know some people wouldn't like that though. But yeah, I just want to do this short video trying to speculate random ideas that I had and discuss my thoughts on the movie. Really, all I want from it is obviously good animation and a good story, and just lore, world building. I feel like the Broly movie kind of lacked that. We got lore in the form of Minus, but we already had that Minus stuff before with Bardock and Baby Goku, Baby Raditz, blah blah blah, all that stuff. All that stuff from Minus we already had before in a manga form. Really, all that movie introduced was just Broly's origin and what he's been up to. It didn't really flesh out anyone too much, and I like the Broly movie. I'm not trying to say that it's bad because of that. I'm just saying I hope the movie, whatever movie's coming up, has more sort of world building and lore, because they kind of built up Broly to be like that. They said it would be some sort of space opera, but it didn't really turn out that way. Still, I have high hopes for this movie. Animation-wise, it's definitely going to look pretty good, especially if they're going to try to top the Broly movie. So just look forward to it. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic, though. So, yeah, if there's any more news, I'll make more videos and more speculations, because this is kind of fun to do, and it's nice to just make a quick video in this sort of format. So, let me know if you like these kind of videos below. I might do more of them, more speculations, theories, manga reviews, whatever. Just let me know in the comments or whatever. But yeah, thanks for watching if you got this far, and let me know what you think below too as well, like what ideas you have of what the movie might be, or what you expect, or what you want to happen. Because, I mean, I'm sure everyone has their own ideas of what they want and what they expect. It would be nice to look at the comments and see what you guys think. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on whatever video is next. Goodbye.